Hello wonderful friends and welcome back. Sorry my voice is a little bit raspy because I'm a bit sick, but today we're going to be going to Blockhouse to tackle some problems from a special reset of competition style climbs. This is actually part 1 of a 2-part series, with this video focusing more on competition style climbs. So stay tuned for part 2 as well. A small update in my life is also that I've actually injured my ankle recently, so I haven't been able to go bouldering. So I'm actually living through some previous footage and really missing climbing. Also, this video was filmed at a social night for fellow people of color, so I was actually able to meet and climb with a whole bunch of friends, which was super fun, and you'll see more of that in the next video as well. But anyway, let's get into the boulders of this week. This first climb looked quite interesting due to the amount of features at the start. It's a relatively easier climb to warm up on, and I can't ever say no to practicing slabby feature climbing, so I had a lot of fun maneuvering around at the bottom. The handholds were also quite juggy, which really helped me trust my feet more, and as you get to the top, you can tell that I'm a little more cautious when it comes to committing on features. Alas, a good and interesting climb, and also my friends were way speedier. Venturing off to the right sits this slopey, slabby, sideways looking climb. You'll notice there are 2 start points on the bottom right sloper, and I definitely misjudged how tricky it would be to get on and start the climb. I really had to trust the left foot and slowly pivot my body so that I could get my right foot onto this hold without slipping off. It took a lot of tensing, but once you get there, it's a cautious shimmy across some delicate features over to a left crimpy catch. Again, I had to really trust and press off the left foot to stay on, as it felt really quite spooky. Once I'd spotted this tiny dot of a foothold, I knew I had to get a high foot up. Personally, I enjoyed this more in retrospect, but it definitely did challenge my hip flexors and forced me to trust a very high foot. Being able to rock over to the left felt quite satisfying once I found my center of gravity, but sadly, I didn't expect to make it this far in the climb and didn't bother committing as hard, so definitely barn doored right off. Let's try that again. Yay, we made it! The rest of this problem was just as sketchy, and I was quite surprised it didn't slip off this hold at the end. But overall, a great, challenging and slabby success. Moving on to another interesting looking climb featuring these 2 gigantic Jeweltex holds. The first move is a bit of a strong undercling and jam yourself between the 2 holds situation. Once you've established that, it's time to slowly inch over to the first nice feature on the left. Once you get there, the climb is pretty nice, until you realize there's nowhere to put your right foot since the hold is Jeweltex. Here I felt quite shook and challenged as I was forced to use a very tight frog move on the feature, which I really wasn't used to, especially so high up the wall. The end section is also a bit dodgy, so I was quite slow and cautious at moving around, and admittedly a bit reachy to get to the final hold. And even then, it was a big swing due to the steepness of the wall, despite the hold being a giant jug. This climb was definitely a bit scary, but we made it. Next, this problem looked super intriguing due to these hexagonal half-moon looking features. I knew my good old pal, the drop knee, would definitely have something to do with this beta. Once you manage to successfully squish yourself up the wall, the rest of the climb is relatively breezy. This next climb was definitely a woozy. It comprises of 2 dynamic sections followed by a really terrifying sketchy top section with some slopey holds. Yay, we made it to the first part. The next part involves an extremely committing downward dyno. Yeah, I was too scared to smash my face into the feature, but we tried. Let's just try it from the next section. Here I tried to put a knee bar in, but it also felt too sketchy and the left-hand holds were not nice enough for me to trust that I could stay on. By the time I had thought of other ideas, I was way too tired. This time I do make it a bit further, but I knew I had to end up over on the left. Trying to get the left foot also felt quite far away for me. I felt so spanned and stretched and way too high up the wall to commit to anything. Despite not getting it, I really enjoyed this climb, at least breaking down the different sections. I probably could have tried the downward dyno more, but I definitely wasn't feeling too committy. But it did look quite close. I wanted to call out this next boulder for being super fun, and in the name of fun, this is a great dyno move. The way to unlocking this move includes picturing yourself as a slingshot and using the middle sloper to almost bounce off further to the right jug, only to stab your feet as soon as you land to control the swing and stay on. This move is incredibly satisfying once you make it. The rest of the climb is steep, so I was doing my best to be as cautious as possible, unlike my friend Nick, who absolutely breezed this climb. And finally, I spotted this minimalistic looking climb with an interesting start. So you probably can't see this, but the start holds are here, which effectively means no footholds, or at least a lot of smearing. I believe it's supposed to be an eventual double toe hook start, but I really couldn't pull my body weight high up enough to start, so I really didn't bother to try more. Correction, I think it's actually supposed to look a little more like this. I did try to draw it out, but you know, you get the picture. Next, I tried to get into the double toe hook move first so I could hang back down and then lower myself down to the start holds. Never mind. I still wanted to try the rest of the climb because it did look quite mantly, so I was quite interested. There was a tiny foothold which was super sketchy, but once I managed to find the correct position for my palm, I stopped being so scared and trusted my foot more to make it to the end. This climb was definitely really interesting, and I do wish that I could have tried it from the actual start, but definitely a good effort from me. That's all the climbs for this video. Tune in next time for part 2, where I try out more fun climbs with more fun friends.